Good morning, everybody. Sandra Sheffer, host of Race and Races. I just came on. I'm going to do this really quick video because this one is going to be straight immigration related. Many of you may or may not know that I am a practicing attorney, and I've actually been practicing immigration law for over 26 years. And just with all of what's going on, I felt the need to come on and just do like a quick video to talk about what folks that are finding themselves being detained should not do. And this is just one specific issue that I see keep coming up and up again, and I felt the need to come and talk about it. We're probably going to have a longer segment if we get a chance to do the show tonight with Dr. Naomi Blamur and Christine Olivo, community activist. However, I wanted to come on as an attorney to talk to you about this one thing. Now, I've been encountering individuals who've been arrested, sometimes on a criminal case or, just for looking like a migrant. And then they find, but, that's not the charge, right? The charge is maybe like a disorderly conduct, no valid driver's license if they were in the car. Sometimes they're arresting passengers, which they're not supposed to do. Or maybe somebody was having a dispute with their partner and they get arrested on a domestic, and it turns out that the person is innocent of the domestic, whatever the charge is, right? So we've been seeing a lot of that. So a lot of folks have been getting arrested on driving with, no valid DL is one of the ones. We've seen people with loitering and prowling just because they're standing outside in public spaces, which you're allowed to do for the most part. And then you have folks who, have disagreements with their partners. And sometimes the partner is weaponizing the fact that they can call the police. I'm not saying that's the case in every situation. If a person finds themselves to think that they're in harm's way, absolutely use the authorities for that. But what I want to tell these folks, what I want to talk about is mainly if you find yourself being an immigrant and you get arrested on a case and you have a hold, an immigration hold, do not, let me repeat, do not post your bond and go into ICE custody. Do not post your bond and go into ICE custody. Resolve your case before you go into ICE custody, because there's a possibility if your case is resolved and you go into ICE custody, then you can bond out. It's almost difficult, and sometimes judges are not willing to do this. Immigration judges are not willing to do this, is to allow someone to bond out that have an open case. And also, sometimes when you're in custody, you have to ICE custody. You have to apply for your applications for relief, like whatever it is that you want to do in order to obtain your lawful status in the United States. You have to do it while you're in custody where they have courts. You know what? There are a lot of applications. You cannot resolve them if you have an open case, right? So if you have an open case because you bonded out of the case, went into ICE custody, and you're like, okay, immigration judge, this is the way that I want to try to stay into the United States. They're going to be like, I'm sorry, respondent, we can't do anything for you because you have an open criminal case. And I'm telling you, it's extremely difficult to get transferred back to custody from ICE when you have an open criminal case. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that it's not as easy as like, oh, I got court on Tuesday. Can y'all transport me over there? No, your criminal attorney is going to have to file open motions. They're going to have to get the judge in a criminal court to direct the facility to go pick you up, bring them to them. And that's going to be an additional cost to this person who may or may not have the funds or available to do that. So what I'm telling you is if you're an immigrant with no status, do not bond yourself out. Matter of fact, no status, LPR, whatever, do not bond yourself out of criminal custody. Stay there, resolve your case. And when you're done, then you go to ICE. Because the other thing too, say you are a person who actually did what they arrested you for, right? Say you did it. You did it. And you had all intentions of taking a plea. You know what? All of that time that you're going to spend in ICE custody, which can be weeks to months, none of that is credit time served towards your criminal case. So stay in jail, or it'll only be in jail because it's pre-trial detention. Stay in custody. Do not post that bond and go into ICE custody. You're wasting your money. Now, there may be some small situations where that you may be all right, because it may be a charge that you're not removable for or something like that. So in that particular instance, if you don't want to take my advice and not post your bond and stay there, consult an attorney that practices immigration law before you make that decision to post that bond to just go sit in ICE custody. And this is the other thing. The other reason why I was compelled to do this segment is, when you post a bond and you go into ICE custody, there's no guarantee they're going to leave you close to your court, right? There are people that have been transported, that's been transferred to facilities in Texas, New Mexico, California. So, and I'm in Florida, so I'm speaking from Florida. They can transfer you to, like I said, Texas, New Mexico, California. And imagine you have a criminal case pending in South Florida somewhere. Who's going to go pick you up and bring you from California to go deal with your criminal case? So again, I'm telling you, do not post that bond to get out of jail to go into ICE custody. I don't think you should do it at all. But if you want to, speak to an attorney and see if it makes sense for you to do that, because you're going to waste your time in ICE custody because you're not getting any credit towards that criminal case if you end up having a plea or resolve to it, right? And you may find yourself in a situation where that is not going to get resolved. And we already have a president who said that he don't know about this whole due process thing, right? So there's a possibility that they can send you back with an open case, right? Now, say you get sent back with an open case that you're going to get a capias on or whatever, because they're not supposed to issue a capias if they know you're in ICE custody, but you still have an open case that they do not have to dismiss. And say you go back to your native country and you have a family member who wants to apply for you, you got this open case that still have to get resolved. They may the consulate in that country gives you that option to get that green card, and you come at the airport. When they do the checks, they're going to see that open warrant and you're going into custody. So what I'm saying, and I'm going to say this again, do not post that bond from the criminal case to go sit into ICE custody. Resolve your case first. If you're innocent, go through the process, prove that you're innocent. Don't waive your right to a speedy trial so it can get resolved. If you're in Florida on a misdemeanor, 90 days. If you're in Florida on a felony case, 175 days. If you don't waive your right to speedy, get your criminal case resolved before you go into ICE custody. Because when you get into ICE custody, listen, you might find yourself in a situation where you're not going to get anything resolved, and you've increased your chances of being removed from the United States because you can't apply for relief because you have an open case. You're going to have your criminal case may or may not get resolved. Now, so let me say, if you're arrested on a misdemeanor, right, and you go into custody, now there is a way that you can, your attorney can enter a plea on your behalf on a misdemeanor case. So there's a process that you can do. But what I'm saying, all of this stuff is going to cost you more money, and you're not going to get credit for any time, particularly if you're going to have to get some time on the criminal case that you're going to take a plea on. So in misdemeanors, criminal attorneys can enter a plea on your behalf. On a felony, no, you got to get into this judge's face and you got to resolve that. Now, if you have violation of probation issues and that type of thing, nope, you got to get into that judge's face and say that. So even if you have bonds on your case, do not post those bonds and go into ICE custody. It is not in your best interest. And if you want to, please consult with an immigration attorney and consult with an immigration attorney before you do that to make sure that's what you should do. But stay in pretrial detention, stay in a county jail, resolve your case before you go post a bond, which is going to be a total waste of money, and go into ICE custody where you may or may not get a bond. And the odds of you getting a bond are slimmer than you actually getting one. So do not post a bond and go into ICE custody. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for that. Most of those facilities suck right now because they're overcrowded, that you can't get the right type of medical attention. They're overcrowded. You can't get the right type of medical attention. You're going to have a difficult time going back and forth to court. So do not post that bond. Stay in pretrial detention. Resolve your case. Consult with an attorney before you have your family spend their hard-earned money to go and have you just go sit in ICE custody where you're not making any progress on your criminal case, and you may be making your life worse on the immigration side of things because it's going to be difficult for you to go back and forth. All right. So I just wanted to take an opportunity, take this time to say that, because I've seen it. It's been an issue. So again, do not post that bond in that criminal case to go into ICE custody. Again, they're overcrowded. If you have medical issues, they're not going to be able to provide that. You're not making any progress on your criminal case. You're not getting any gain time. So stay there, resolve it. I know no one wants to be detained. You're not getting out any quicker because you go to ICE. You're not. So don't post a bond on that criminal case. Have a good day, everybody. And I'll probably do another episode, more extended, talking about this same issue, because it's something that we definitely need to talk about. But again, I just wanted to come out, put that out there. Do not post that bond on that immigration, on your, do not post that bond on a criminal case just to go sit in ICE custody in those inhumane conditions that are existent at this time. This is Sandra Sheffer, host of Race and the Races, coming to you as an attorney today. Now, please like our page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and for more content. Have a good day, everybody. Elections have consequences.